Hello my dear children, how are you all? I wish all are doing well to be at your home. So my dear children, here I am with the video of poem in the bazaars of Hyderabad as well as all the question answers and exercises. In last video we have completed our first chapter, the 3 questions. Okay, so here we will study about the poem. This is a poem in the bazaars of Hyderabad, composed by Sarojini Naidu, well-known figure. Everybody knows about her. So, who is Sarojini Naidu? Sarojini Naidu was a major political figure in the Indian freedom movement in the first half of the 20th century. She was the president of the Indian National Congress and the first women governor in India. And as for the context, the poem was written as a part of Swadeshi movement. This poem is a part of Swadeshi movement. During that freedom, the Indians decided to boycott European merchandise and use the Indian products instead. Through this poem, in the bazaars of Hyderabad, Sarojini Naidu wanted to convey the message that India is rich in tradition and they don't need the foreign products. So she goes on to give a picture of a bazaar where traditional Indian products are ruling. The poem is in the form of questions and answers. The poet asks the questions and the merchants answer them. Through this technique, she makes the picture of the bazaar visible to us. Okay? This is all about Sarojini Naidu. So from here we will start our poem. Think of sound, sights and smells that greet you as you walk through a bazaar. When you will enter in a bazaar, that time you will see all these 3 things and you will feel as they are greeting to us. In this poem, Sarojini Naidu describes the colors and sounds of the various stalls in bazaar of Hyderabad, the city where she was born and spent her childhood. So here our first stanza, which is of 6 lines. What do you sell, O merchants? Richly your wares are displayed, turbans of crimson and silver, tunics of purple brocade, mirror with panels of amber, daggers with handles of jade. So the poem begins with the poet's question to the merchants about what they are selling. She sees that the goods are displayed nicely to attract the buyers. What is ware? Ware means articles for sale which are ready to display. Then merchants reply what? That they are selling crimson and silver colored turbans. Crimson means deep red. Crimson, deep red, inclining to purple. And silver colored turbans. And what is a turban? Turban is a headdress consisting of a long length of cotton or silk wound around a cap or the head, worn especially by Muslim or Sikh. Usually you have, I think you have seen this. And what else? Purple brocade tunics. Purple brocade tunics means to say purple brocade. The brocade which is a rich fabric woven with raised pattern. So that tunic was of purple color with the brocade, and brocade was a rich fabric woven with raised pattern. Mirrors with amber frame and daggers with handles made of jade. And here what else you are selling? Mirror with panels of amber. Mirror they are selling which is having a boundary around it and which is of a light yellowish colors, and panel for the decoration they used a green color stones. Daggers with handles of jade. And daggers, it is a kind of weapon, a short knife with a pointed blade. Its handle are decorated with jade. So this is all about the first stanza. They are selling these things. Okay. Now our second stanza. I hope first stanza is clear to you. What do you weigh, O vendor? Saffron and lentil and rice. What do you grind, O maidens? Sandalwood, henna and spice. What do you call, O peddlers? Chessmen and ivory dice. So here the poet then visits the vendors, the maidens and the peddlers. Peddlers means to say salesman. Actually salesman which usually talks a lot to sell their goods. Talkative salesman. Okay. So the poet then visits the vendors and the maidens and the peddlers. She asks the vendors what they are weighing for sale. The vendors reply that they are weighing saffron, lentil and rice. Lentil means to say pulses and rice. Now she is asking the question to the maiden's girl, what they are grinding, what they are crushing. So they are grinding. The reply comes that sandalwood, henna and spices. And now the peddlers are asked what they are calling as their trade cry. They are moving here and there and they are shouting or crying for the things. They say that they are selling chessmen. Chessmen, you know na, players of the chessboard, and dice made from ivory for the games of chess. It means to say ivory dice means to say dice made of elephant's teeth. So they are selling these things. I hope second passage is also clear to you. Now the third passage. What do you make, O a goldsmith? Wristlet and anklet and ring, bells for the feet of blue pigeons, frail as a dragonfly's wing, girdles of gold for the dancers, scabbards of gold for the king. The poet now goes up to the goldsmith and asks them what they are making. They are making wristlet. Wristlet, what is? A band or bracelet worn on the wrist. Okay. And anklet, anklet ornament for foot. This is. So they are making these things, and ring to adorn us, and bells to be tied to the feet of blue pigeons. So they are making bell also. And these bells are as thin and lightweight as the wings of a dragonfly. They are also making golden girdles for the dancers and golden sheath for keeping the king's swords. It means to say, girdles means to say a belt worn around the waist for the dancers. Scabbard, it is a cover for swords made of leather or metals, usually which is decorated. So it is the goldsmith is making all the things. What do you cry, O fruitman? Citron, pomegranate and plum. Now another passage is going to be start. Now she goes to the fruitsman, and what she is asking? The poet in the poem in Bazaars of Hyderabad now asks the fruit seller what fruits are they selling. Here they answer that they are selling what? We will see here, sorry, two lines are here. The answer is coming that they are selling citron, pomegranate and plum. Citron, it is a kind of lemon. Have you seen in your school that there is a big lemon which is having a flesh more than a lemon, but in taste it is having less acid. Okay, it is not this much so. Pomegranate and plum, they are selling these. And what is a plum? Usually you eat. In Hindi we can say aloo bukhara. So a reddish purple fruit it is. So they told about the fruits, what fruits they were selling. And now what do you play, O musician? Sitar, sarangi and drum. Then poet asked the question to musician, what instruments they are play? They reply that they are playing on sitar, sarangi and drum. Sitar, this is a picture is given of sitar. What do you chant, O musician? Spells for the aeons to come. Now what is the reply of the musician? They are saying that he is chanting the spells to bring in aeons. Aeons means to say a divine power. It means to say an extremely long period of time. Who would help him perform his magical tricks? So these things they were chanting. Now the passage number 5th. Is it fifth or sixth? Let me count. 1, 2, 3, 4, fifth. Yes, this is the last passage. What do you weave? O flower girls, with tassels of azure and red crowns for the brow of a bridegroom. Chaplets to garland his bed, sheets of white blossoms, new garnier to perfume the sleep of the dead. Now in this last stanza of the poem, the poetess asks the flower girl what they are weaving with the azure, a deep blue color, and red tassels, strands of flower. The flower girls are making garlands. What they are saying, that they are making garlands for the bride and the groom, and to adorn their bed for the wedding night. Adorn means to decorate. To decorate their bed for the wedding night. They are also making sheets of newly brought white flowers for the use on the dead man's grave for fragrance. To perfume means for fragrance. So these things are going to be done by the flower girls. So this is all about the poem. Thus the poet Sarojini Naidu represents an Indian market to give us a sense of the rich Indian heritage. This poem was her protest against the European products and an appreciation to our own goods. So this was all about the poem. I hope this poem is clear to you and you enjoyed it. Now this is the time for exercise. First, making connections. So true false are given here. Say whether the following statements are true, then we will put P, or false F, about the bazaars of Hyderabad. First, the merchants sell lentil and rice. This is false because merchants are not selling these. Merchants are different from vendors. Merchants are different from vendors. True. The fruit men sell fruits and vegetable. False. Musicians play the guitar and the drum. So guitar was not there. What they are playing? Sarangi, sitar and drum. So this is false. Magician wake the dead from sleep. This is also false. They didn't dead from sleep. Okay. They didn't make a person awake from the sleep as they were the dead. So only B part is true, rest are false. Here I have given the answers. You can match from here. Okay. Now questions also given here. After that, here 3 questions are there. Read these lines and answer the questions that follow. What do you sell, O merchants? On behalf of this line, we are having 3 questions. So first question, the stanza that this line is taken from describe different things being sold. What are the things mentioned? So answer is here. The things mentioned in the stanza are turbans of crimson and silver, tunics of purple brocade, mirror with panels of amber, and daggers with handles of jade. Now the next question. Who is selling the wares? Who is selling the wares? The goods. The merchants are selling the wares. Okay. Now the next question. Here it is. What are the colors and shades mentioned in this stanza? Why do you think the poet has used these colors to describe the wares? Then answer is here. The colors and shades mentioned in the stanza are crimson, silver, purple, amber and jade. The poetess has used colors to create an image of the goods being sold. So this is the second question, A part. All 3 answers are here. You can see. Okay. Now the B part. Bells for the feet of blue pigeons, frail as a dragonfly wings, girdles of gold for the dancers, scabbards of gold for the kings. Question, who is the speaker addressing in these lines? Answer is here. The speaker is addressing the goldsmith. Next question. Apart from a girdle and scapboards, what else is made from gold? Answer. Apart from a girdle and scapboards, wristlets, ankles, rings and bells are made from gold. Next question. Pick out a simile from the above lines. Simile, it is a figure of speech where we are having comparison. So here this is the line, frail as a dragonfly. Frail means light. Light as a dragonfly wings. Here this is the answer, wings is written. It is not wingy, W-I-N-G-I. It is wing, W-I-N-G. Okay. Please do the correction here. I am doing. This is not wing. It is okay. It is wing. Understood? Now the next question. Crowns for the brown of a bridegroom. Chaplets to garland his bed. Sheets of white blossoms new garnered to perfume the sleep of the dead. First question. What floral ornaments are woven for the bridegroom? So the answer is here. The bridegroom wears crowns with tassels of azure and red. Next question. What is the significance of the white blossoms? So answer on next page. Here. The sheets of white blossoms are spread over the dead in a funeral. Next question. The lines talk about two contrasting events in human life. What are these events? So answer, it is here on this page. The two contrasting events are marriage and death. So these are the reference to context. Usually we call these questions. Now question number 3. What are the vendors, maidens and paddlers doing in the bazaar? Answer. Here. The vendors, maidens and paddlers are all selling their merchandise and wares. The vendors are selling saffron, lentil and rice. The maidens are selling sandalwood, henna and spice. The paddlers are selling jasmine and ivory dyes. Question number 4. Name the fruits and musical instrument displayed in the bazaar. Answer. Wait. Here. The fruits displayed in the bazaar are citrus fruit, pomegranate and plum. The musical instruments displayed are sitar, sarangi and drum. Question number 5. Mention two things that fascinate the poet about the bazaar of Hyderabad. Fascinate means attract. What fascinates you when you go to bazaar? The answer to this question is here. The poetess is fascinated by the sounds, sights and smells in the market. The hustle and bustle of the market is interesting to watch. The poetess is enamored by the variety of goods on display. So this was all about the question. Okay. Now here exercise is given, appreciation. What is written here? We will read. In the poem, Sarojini Naidu depicts a picture of the bazaar of Hyderabad through vivid imagery. Imagery is the use of language to evoke pictures in the minds of the readers or listener. It means to say, whenever we are going to imagine about a scene, we are feeling as it is in front of our eyes. So imagery appeals to the sense. Image need not be only visual. The most effective imagery uses as many senses as possible. Taste, gustatory, touch, tactile, smell, olfactory, sound, auditory and sight, visual, to help us imagine the scene. The poem provides instances of visual, olfactory, gustatory and auditory imagery. So what we have to do? Here you will see this is a kind of activity which we have to do. Given below is a table with some examples of the different kinds of imagery are found in the poem. Identify other examples of each kind of imagery and write them in the table. This is the table where we have to write visual turbans of crimson and silver. We have seen these things, then we came to know. So it means it is visual. Freshly ground saffron, olfactory and gustatory, and auditory, playing of a drum. So answer to this exercise here. In visual, what you will write? Tunics of purple brocade, daggers with handles of jade, tassels of azure and red, blue pigeons. And for olfactory and gustatory, sandalwood, paste and powder, the smell of henna and spice, the fragrance of fresh flowers. Auditory, chanting of spells by magician, cry of fruitmen, tinkle of anklets, sound you are having with anklets, playing of sarangi. Okay. Now, one exercise else here you will see. State the type of imagery used in each of the following sentences. As I woke up, words are given here. I inhaled the fresh fragrance of jasmine growing in my garden. This is olfactory. From my hotel room, I could hear the waves crashing against the rocks. Auditory. I was so hungry that I ate up the sweet, juicy peaches I was saving for dinner. This is gustatory. I bought the fabric for its soft, velvety texture. This is tactile. The sun looked like a ball of fire in the sky. This is visual. So answer is here. Wait, I am giving you answers. Here, second A. Okay. Olfactory, auditory, gustatory, tactile and visual. And now the last question here. Create a poem of your own using the given clues. Cues. We have to read and we have to start to write something. So we have to use these clues. I love winter afternoons. So answer for this is also here. I love winter afternoons. They bring out the warmest sun after a cold night. The air holds a nip of cold. The skies are clear. The mist is only for the night. I love winter afternoons with its cold inside, warm outside setting. It gives me a choice to be warm or to be cold. So now this chapter is over. So my dear students, stay at home, stay safe and thank you very much.